welcome back to another edition of What's in the Box. The game is easy. You got two boxes. I'm gonna tell you what's in them, and then you pick which box you would rather have. Contestant, are you ready?
I don't know what to pick.
In this box right here, we have one of the most sure things you could ever get at the quarterback position.
Ooh, that sounds enticing.
His stats, back it up. His game film, incredible. He's won a Heisman Trophy and done things that most quarterbacks could never do. How do you feel about that box?
I want that box. I want that box. I want that box.
And in this box right here, you have, not that. Which one would you want? Before you make that pick, I must warn you that in this box right here, that person paints his nails.
No, I'm pretty sure. I want that box. It sounds like a good box.
Before, you will get somebody who makes money off advertising. Isn't that a concern to you?
I don't care if he paints his nails. I want that box. Do you understand the argument you're trying to make to not get that box?
I guess you're right.
Can I have the box?
But what about the box?
All right, so why am I holding this? Caleb Williams is going to be the first overall pick in the NFL draft by the Chicago Bears. However, I have never seen a quarterback get ripped more, just nitpicking everything, than Caleb Williams. And in my job, I'm a producer for 670 The Score in Chicago, the #1 rated station in the city. Just putting it out there. As part of my job, when you call the station to give your take, I'm the one who picks up the phone, puts the name down, listens to your take, say that's a good take, that's a bad take. And when it comes to Caleb Williams, oh my God, that topic is crack, cocaine, whatever heavy drug for any listener and caller. So when I listen to these people and their takes, I hear a lot of terrible things about Caleb Williams. And it's not just the callers. You know, other people are saying this stuff. But there is so much hate towards a man who has honestly done so much good, it outweighs the bad. But all the people want to talk about is the bad. Why do we hate Caleb Williams? I feel like this man is hated at every single level, but when you watch him on the field, you're like, wow, that's one of the best things I've seen a quarterback do, or some of the most amazing throws that you could have. But why is Caleb Williams hated so much? So I've compiled a list of the things that callers call me the most about Caleb Williams, about what he does bad. The #1 reason, and it's not even close, he painted his fingernails. How could that man be our quarter? How could that man be? I don't even know what accent I'm doing. That Caleb Williams guy right there, I don't like Caleb Williams. He paints his fingernails, and I don't know what accent I am doing. Now me, would I paint my fingernails? No, I wouldn't. But the fact we're judging if he's going to be a good quarterback in the NFL because he painted his nails is such a ridiculous argument to be making. Like, yes, you and I would not be painting our nails. That's not how we express ourselves, but we're not also of the same generation of Caleb Williams. I'm afraid to inform you, but men painting their nails is something that has caught on with the younger generations. I'm sorry that I'm out of touch. Like, I'm sorry that we're out of touch when it comes to that type of thing, but like, he does that, and that's a form of self-expression. If someone gets a tattoo, we're not necessarily worried about that because it's their form of self-expression. When someone's wearing a certain pair of cleats, we're not going to be like, man, he's going to catch the ball really bad, or he's going to throw many interceptions. And I don't want that man being the face of our organization. I don't understand the type of person who just wants a vanilla quarterback. I want him to get up, wake up in the morning, think of only football, throw good touchdown passes, come home, kiss his wife, put his kids to bed, and then just watch film until the end of... Like, these are also human beings. Like, they want self-expression. Like, look at Dennis Rodman. If Dennis Rodman didn't dye his hair, or have the tattoos, or have this type of swagger or look, or the piercings to him, would you remember him like he is now? And I understand what he said on his fingernails, like, I get it. Like, once again, you and I, the listener at home, we wouldn't do that, but I'm not going to knock him because he painted his nails. I'm sorry. I would rather have that quarterback than anybody else. And number 2, and it's not even, the gap between 2 and 3 is very, very large, but the number 2 thing is that he cried. Caleb Williams cried on the sideline. Caleb Williams cried with his mom after a pretty heartbreaking loss. I have had a lot of callers be like, if he's going to cry like that, then he's not man enough for the NFL. Caleb Williams cares so much about football and so much about winning and so much about being the best version of himself that when he didn't meet that expectation, he cried. In fact, shouldn't we be like, I don't know, rewarding that? Like, shouldn't we say like, wow, this guy cares literally this much that he is giving everything and is so upset, so impacted by a loss? Because if he was after that game smiling and high five and doing a jersey exchange, like, how would your reaction be? You would say, wow, he doesn't care enough. I literally can't tell you the amount of callers who were like, this is disgusting. Like, I don't want this person being the leader of my football team. And if you're a Chicago Bears fan, like, the history of your quarterback kind of like sucks. So like, how are you going to judge if, oh my God, like this guy I don't want? Like, you don't know what you want because you've never had anything good. This is where I just have a fundamental disagreement with anybody who goes against this. And I'm not trying to be like the woke police, like, it's okay to cry. It's like, no, it is okay to cry. I cry. I cry sometimes. Sometimes I care so much I get emotional. And guess what? That is completely normal. It makes me human. In fact, if every guy in the world were to cry once a week, I swear crime would fall down significantly because we could actually let out our emotions instead of doing the crazy stuff that men do. Just cry. I recommend to everybody, just have a good cry every once in a while and don't bash people who do because they care so much or they're so emotionally impacted. It may be just like a Chicago or old person thing. Well, he didn't play well against Notre Dame. Really? That's the bar? Just one game? We're going to judge him on one game? Like, I get it. The game wasn't great. But why are we nitpicking one game? And why does it have to be the oldest team? Like, this is literally the team of just, like, olds. You think of Notre Dame, you think of, like, old people. It's just like, yes. Back in my day, there was 2 conferences in college football. There was Notre Dame and who gives a hoot. But the point is, he didn't play well against Notre Dame. Is a generational talent allowed to have a bad game? Remember Joe Burrow? Yeah, I do too. During his last year at LSU, he had maybe the best season of a quarterback of all time in college football. His junior year at LSU, he played Alabama, and they lost 29-0. I didn't necessarily hear that when draft season came around. They didn't talk about the Alabama game where he threw for less than 200 yards, no touchdowns, and a pick. I didn't hear that about Joe Burrow. How about Jalen Hurts? He's an incredible quarterback in the NFL. He's having a lot of success right now. He got benched in the national title game. He's doing pretty good. So when people nitpick certain games, there's like 30 others where he absolutely dominated. Just a thought. Oh, but he didn't win last year. He didn't win last year at USC. But did you also watch, I don't know, the team play football? Did you watch USC play football? USC averaged around 42 points per game. That's not on Caleb Williams that the team did bad. Like, he did everything he could with the weapons he had. The defense was just terrible. So why should Caleb Williams get dinged because the rest of his team was bad? I also don't believe in the notion that you have to be successful in college football. Do you know that Patrick Mahomes guy? He finished his college career going 13-16. His best year, he went 7-6, and he lost his bowl game. I think Patrick Mahomes is doing just all right. You don't need to win a national title, or you don't need to be a Final Four team, and you don't need that in order to be successful in the NFL. Number 4, his character issues. Where has this come from? Like, I look at what coaches.
The thing I've always appreciated about him is like he's always thinking about the next step, and it's always the big picture. You know, at Oklahoma, there was a time in the beginning where we weren't going to take him, and he said, "Well, fine, coach, I'll just walk on."
Teammates.
The film speaks for itself, and then when you meet him in person, just his character and how he act, it's just he stand on business.
How does he act? Can you give me a description of how what that means?
Just mature. He's a mature young man who got his goals lined out and he trying to chase them.
Other teams' players, people who, like his high school coaches. I look at people who've just been around Caleb Williams. What all of those people have said is that he's an incredible leader and that he just loves the game of football. Major reason why a lot of quarterbacks don't have success, even if they have some amazing talent, is that they don't know how to lead the huddle or lead the team. From what everybody has said around Caleb Williams is that he does that, but does it even greater. Even as a freshman at Oklahoma, he was leading his team to do off-season workouts together, and he wasn't even the starting quarterback yet. Now, this is a conversation about the NFL draft process as a whole, because this is a long process. And it's a conversation more about the media surrounding the NFL draft. A lot of the things nitpicked about Caleb Williams are just things to start conversation, or things to be like, but what about Jaden Daniels? Or opportunities to talk about other players to bring him down. And like, I get the game that the NFL draft media is trying to play. The NFL draft is one of the best things of like, we are so unsure if he is going to pan out in the NFL from what he did in college. So we have to nitpick everything. Like, I understand that, but I think a lot of this is more made up than actual belief when it comes to Caleb Williams. Now, I've said all of these things here that have been nitpicked about Caleb Williams, but we haven't even discussed what he's good at. And what he's good at is the game of football. He may not be your cup of tea, but I don't know why you would hate him. And I understand sports fandom, like you want to hate certain players, but I don't know if he's necessarily done anything to deserve the amount of hate of what he's been given. I think Caleb Williams is going to be very successful in the NFL draft. I think the Chicago Bears are going to love having Caleb Williams. And I think that we should remember his college career as one of the most amazing quarterbacks that we've really seen of this century. Those are my 2 cents. Okay, bye.